Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new spit build video. So about 2-3 months ago I posted a video called One Space 3 Ways, and it was a video where I took 910 Medina Studios and built 3 different apartments in that little tiny space, and I ended up really loving that concept of the video. I also got a lot of positive feedback from you all in the comments. I actually did that as a challenge for myself because anytime I build, I tend to build on bigger lots, and I always have a really difficult time building in really tiny spaces. So I just really wanted to sort of train myself and challenge myself to build in really tiny lots. I believe this is the smallest lot in San Myshuno. This is a 9x9 apartment. So it was definitely a challenge when I did that video. I ended up doing 1 apartment for a couple and 2 apartments for 2 single people, but you could technically have couples living in any of those apartments because they all had double beds. But for this video I wanted to do even more of a challenge and do a family edition. So I knew that I had to fit at least 2 Sims in all 3 apartments, and that I had to have 2 different bed areas because of being a family. So it was definitely a challenge, but I ended up having a lot of fun. I think the apartments came out really cute. They came out pretty different from one another, which I also really liked and was aiming for. This particular apartment is for a mom, a dad, and their toddler son. They're actually a very young couple. They had their kid when they were seniors in high school, so they were still teenagers. Now they're both in college and they also have part-time jobs, so they don't have a lot of funds. However, I think the apartment came out super cute. I love how lived in it looks like. I put quite a lot of clutter, or at least a lot of clutter for me. I've seen some apartments that are very cluttered, because I'm so used to doing very minimal and minimalistic modern builds. I tend not to do a lot of clutter, so this is a lot of clutter for me. It may not be for you, but I still think it looks very lived in and very cute. I also kept it very neutral, so you can technically move any family here. I just wanted it to be very versatile, and I also wanted it to be ready just for anyone to play in this and not have to change a lot of stuff about it. I did playtest every single apartment. However, I am not sure if I'm going to be uploading them into the gallery. If I do upload some of the apartments, I think I may just upload the first one, which is this one, and then the 3rd apartment. I don't think I'm going to upload the 2nd one because I did use platforms for that, and I would just have to lower the platforms, and I think the structure and feel of the apartment would get messed up if I do that. I'm really hoping that we can get an update where we are able to upload apartments without having to delete any walls and without having to upload them as rooms, and also where we can upload apartments that have platforms, because we do have platforms, so why wouldn't we be able to upload apartments that have them? Makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. Definitely check the description of this video, because if I do end up uploading them into the gallery, I am going to just state it there. Also, I put a lot of information about the builds in the descriptions, so if you haven't checked those out, definitely check them out. I usually put how much each build is worth, and all the packs that I used, and if I use Sims that I didn't create, that I just downloaded from the gallery, I always make sure to credit whoever created the Sims. Just if in case you like a sim and you think they're cute and you want to use them, you can just look up their username and you can download them on your own. Because I'm not really good at building sims, so I just usually just go into the gallery and download sims and maybe change a few things about them. But yeah, so anyways, I am so in love with this apartment. I didn't want things to be too matchy, but I still wanted everything to go together very well. Again, I play tested everything, so even though this is a very small space, your sims are not going to have any issues moving around and get into places and all of that. I wanted it to feel very homey, very warm, and because they are a very young couple, I think that they just buy furniture that's going to be practical to them. But I still wanted the apartment to have a lot of cute personality, and I made sure to put at least one activity and then like at least one computer for each apartment that I built, and I really ended up loving it. I think it looks so cute. Here I'm just putting the final touches for the apartment, and yeah, I am really hoping that you all like the concept of these videos, because I would love to do more like this. I would love to do more apartments in this little space. So here's how the apartment looks like. This is the floor plan of everything. Make sure you stay until the end of the video, because I'll be introducing you to all of the families and then giving you the tour of all of the builds. But now let's go ahead and move on onto the second apartment. Alright, moving on to the second apartment, and unlike my usual builds where I already know who's going to live there and like what their backstory is, I actually had no idea what type of family was going to live here. I knew that I wanted the apartment to be very colorful because I don't tend to use a lot of color in my builds, and that's something that I wanted to change. I really wanted it to be just different from what I'm used to building. I'm used to sticking with like the very like black, white, brown type of color palette. So I knew that I wanted to have some accent walls, and I wanted things to be very colorful. And I ended up really liking it, so I think I'm going to be doing a lot of that more. But I had no idea who was going to live here. I sort of wanted this apartment to have like twin siblings, but I wasn't sure if I wanted it to be like maybe two dads or two moms. I just didn't know until the very end, and then I just ended up deciding that I wanted it to be for a single dad with twin children. So the twins are a boy and a girl, and then it's just a single dad, and I wanted them to be like very hippie, very creative. Like I just know that they have such a great relationship between one another, and like they're really best friends. I wanted the apartment to feel very playful, very just a space that you walk in and you just instantly get so happy. So I put a lot of color and like a lot of contrasting patterns, and I ended up loving this. I think that if you walk into this apartment, I would feel so happy just because of how colorful it is. And it is something that I tend not to do a lot. I tend not to do a lot of color, as I said before. But for this apartment, I just wanted to use lots of color. And yeah, I love the way that this came out. I think it's so fun and so bright. I also wanted to, like, I imagined the dad to be like a queer parent, so I put like little hints throughout the apartment of that, and I ended up loving it. I think it's just such a space where your Sims are going to be so inspired all of the time. I did like an art area, and then here I'm doing like the study area for the twins. So I gave them each a desk. I put a laptop there and then like a homework space as well. And I ended up flipping this lamp. This is a floor lamp that I just used a tool mod to flip it around, and I used that as like a ceiling lamp, and I really like how that came out. I was pretty happy with that. And then this is like the twin area. Again, I feel like anyone can live in these apartments. I feel like they're very versatile. You can change them however you want, or you can change the colors and things like that. But yeah, I was so happy with it. I feel like I've said that a million times before, but I don't know, I was very proud of how the apartments look like. But I also wanted to say that thank you to every single person that has been subscribing to my channel. I had a couple of hectic weeks and I hadn't been able to build because I was so busy at work. We had like this huge project coming out, and then my dog ended up having emergency surgery, so I wasn't able to fully focus and be present on my channel or build. And then when I realized that I had not only reached, but I also had passed the 300 subscriber mark, I was so happy and like shocked, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much to every single person that has been subscribing and watching my videos and like leaving comments. I appreciate it so much. We don't have a lot of time in the day, so that you spend a little bit of yours on my channel, that makes me so happy and I'm so grateful. So thank you so much for that. It makes me so happy and so much more inspired to continue building and to continue doing more things. And I have so many plans for my channel, so I'm very glad that you are all here. But this is a floor plan of the second apartment. As I said before, make sure you stay until the end so that you can meet the families and give you the tour of the apartments. But yeah, this is how it looks like. Now let's go ahead and move on to the third and final apartment. So here is the third and final apartment, and this apartment is for a pair of sisters. So the older sister is a young adult, and then the youngest sister is a child. Their parents sadly passed away, so the young adult had to take custody of the child, and they actually moved to San Myshuno. They're not originally from San Myshuno, they're originally from like the mountains. So I really wanted this apartment to be like a cottage core apartment. I've never really I don't know, I've never thought about doing like a cottage core apartment until now, and I really love the idea of that. So I wanted it to be very like brown, very like cute, like greens and blues and a lot of wood accents. I really liked how this apartment came out. I thought it was so cute. It kind of reminded me of like if your grandma was to like move into the city, this would be her apartment. I thought it was really precious, and I used a lot of wallpaper for this as well. And something that I just was so happy about is that I feel like all three apartments look so different, and I think that's the whole point of why I want to continue this series, is just to be able to take one space that is so small and just completely transform that space into just such a different way. So I was pretty happy with it. And I was able to fit a fireplace, which I was very surprised because fireplaces tend to take a lot of space, but I was able to fit one here and I was so happy with that. I love fireplaces. It's one of my favorite things to use in all of my builds. I think it just gives such a nice touch to any build. I like using some of the ones that are that come with the game, but I also like creating my own. So yeah, I was really happy that I was able to actually have a fireplace here. I was so excited. And again, because this is like a very cottage core apartment, I wanted it to feel like the furniture was vintage and like used and just very like maybe second hand, but still very cute. Like maybe some of the things were repainted and like just refurnished and all of that, and I really love that. I do end up changing this entry area because I realized when I went to do the bathroom, I realized that I didn't leave any space for the bathroom door, so I do end up taking out like one of those tables that I used right in front of the entry door. So I just deleted one and put the door there for the bathroom. But yeah, this is the desk area, and I hadn't used the computer that came with Cottage Living, and I thought it was a perfect time for me to use it. I think it's so cute. I would love to have that in real life. It's so adorable. Oh yeah, so here's where I delete that table and start doing the bathroom. Bathrooms I kept very simple again because they are very much such a small space, so I just kept things very simple. I only used a bathtub for the first apartment because of the toddler, but the second and third apartments, since it's a child, I just used showers. And here I am doing the bedroom of the older sister. I love this bedroom. I think it came out so adorable. I love the color scheme. I think I'm going to have to do like a proper cottagecore apartment in the game, because I really loved the whole idea of having something so modern like an apartment and then have that juxtaposition of the decor being very vintage and cottagecore. And again, I try to like do different activities. So for this one, I gave her some musical instruments, and I also put the flower arrangement because I pictured this Sims to work at like a florist shop. So I wanted her to have like a flower arrangement table for her to practice when she's at home. And then this is the bedroom of the child of her little sister. And I love this bedroom. I think it's so pretty. Honestly, if I had a child in real life, I think I would stick to this color palette. I love the whole like very like off pink, brown and white combination of colors. I think it's so beautiful. It's very girly and very childlike, but also I think the colors just give it such a nice and just very neutral color schemes. I'm all for that. So yeah, I love how this came out. I thought it was so pretty. Oh yeah, and here's where I put the flower arrangement table. Again, I really just try to give them activities, even though it's a very small space. I wanted them to be able to build their skills and, you know, all of that good stuff. So here I'm just putting the final touches for the last apartment. But yeah, now we're up to the end of our video. I hope that you all like this concept. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I would love if you have like an idea of like, oh, you can do this theme. Let me know in the comments. I would love to do it. I think maybe next I would do like a college dorm edition, but we shall see. But yeah, stick around because the video tours are coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, all of that good stuff. But I will see you all in my next video. Bye.